What is up? I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. This is a very special Blinkers Off. What's up, man?
Yeah, this is a big show today, man. We've got the drawing for the fantasy league, so we're going to draw for the draft positions in the league. So everybody's tuned in for that, I'm sure. So or at least the guys that are playing anyway. So yeah, we got a big show. We got the draft. Just to show you a little highlight. See, I've got name cards for everybody. That was Paul's, and then I got numbers, and so we will be drawing for those sometime during the show. It's up to Jared. He schedules the show. I just show up.
I'm just really contemplating because I'm gonna guess that a good chunk of the people that are gonna be listening are just on here for the draft order. So I'm wondering if we should just wait to the very, very end and to put that up, or maybe we should just randomly, like throughout the show, be like, all right, let's draw another one. And just
now that I like. Just sprinkle it in. Should we draw one right now?
I think we should. Let's do it. You want to?
All right. Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Let's do it. We're gonna. This is great. Okay, so for those that are tuning in, I hope you're not late. We're gonna draft. We're gonna go ahead and do the first spot right now. The first person.
In my hand are the numbers, so I'll just what I draw number wise really isn't. 10.
Oh, someone's gonna be pissed. You go ahead and tell it it's me, because it's me every year.
All the names are in the hat. So here we go. What a way to kick off the show.
What a way to kick it off.
Pick, buddy.
Slim is in the last pick of the draft. I'm so sorry that, at least you can get off the show now. You don't have to watch the whole damn time.
What a great start to the show. Holy
man,
God.
You better start looking for those 8 rings, Slim. Those are the horses you'll be getting. So
Slim opens off the show. We open the show. Slim is going to be the 10th pick in the draft. Now, Magic and I were talking on it before today or earlier today. And we said actually the 10th pick is not horrible because then you get the 11th pick because it's a stake style draft. So that's really not bad. We thought like 5, 6. Those are the worst positions.
Yeah.
So
well, because the 5 and the 6 spots, you do have a little more pressure because it's like, yeah, the one good thing about getting 10 is you kind of are left with not great. So you don't have as much pressure. But in 5 or 6, you kind of have a few good horses left that you need to take a stand on. But yeah. I've been in that spot a couple times, Slim. So, and look where I turned out. So, all right. Well, I love the way we're doing this. So,
yeah,
we'll draw this randomly throughout the show. I think we'll just kind of know, when the time's right. I love it. That was not planned, by the way.
That's the funniest thing about it. Jed and I had discussed zero about how we were going to do it, when we were going to do it, and on the fly, we've just thought of that. So I love it. I love it. That's great, man. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, when the show hits a little lull, we'll just go right back to the picking of the order here. So yeah, I'm excited.
When we see the users start dropping, we're like, all right, time for another pick.
Exactly. Yeah. Call your friend. Hey, you're going to draw again.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. What's we have obviously. We'll get right into the best thing you saw, because for me, it's the fact that we are doing. It's just it's just not just me. Everyone, I'm like so ready for 2020 to be done and to be focusing on 2021 and obviously the 2021 Derby. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a breath of fresh air. Like let's just good riddance to this year and the Derby trail or the Derby / Triple Crown trail, and let's just freaking move on to some sort of normalcy for 2021 and start, just researching these 2-year-olds already and looking at them as they move into 2021. It's exciting because I'm so tired of talking about this year. So that's easily the best thing I saw. Oh, I could also talk about the fact that the Chiefs are now number one, at least in the power rankings. They still technically don't have the one after the tiebreaker with the Steelers, but the Steelers lost. My boy Alex Smith, which was a huge win for him, huge loss for the Steelers. And so if they can lose one more, we could win out. They hold the tiebreaker because we lost in our division. So the division, I think it's like head to head, and then the next one, which we don't play them, and then the next one is division win percentage. So since we lost to the Raiders, we were down one from them. But yeah, I mean, it was a good thing, and this year more than ever with the first seed bye, we need it. I feel like so. The Chiefs, but I won't talk about them. Chiefs are the number one. But 2021 coming up close. That's the best thing I saw today.
Yeah, Steelers are going to lose another game, I think, too. I think it's just going to be a matter if the Chiefs are going to lose another game. I think the Steelers will lose one more along the way there. So, yeah, it was good to see them lose, especially Alex Smith. Like I've said many times in the show, I'm not a Chiefs fan, but if you're not an Alex Smith fan, I don't know. You might have something wrong with you. Like, that's pretty cool. He's been able to come back and play well. And right now the Redskins are playing well, and they're in the playoffs as of right now. Yes, there's 5-7, but they're in the playoffs as of right now. So, yeah, Jared, we don't need it. You might.
The interesting thing about this year, and you and I have talked about this a lot, is just like, what does the buys mean? Other than, I mean, the buy, yes, but like, the home field advantage and those things, there's just no, other than traveling, or maybe if you're playing, of course, Mile High is on an issue this year, but if you're playing at an atmosphere that's different, or maybe playing in Buffalo, that maybe not exactly fun to go to Buffalo with the weather in January. But yeah, overall, it's like, it just doesn't, there's not quite that home field advantage, so to speak. But obviously the one, getting a bye, especially if you can somehow, wrap up the year and sit your guys halfway through week 17 as well. It's a huge plus. So yeah, I mean, you want the bye for sure. And last year, people forget that the Chiefs had everything go their way the last week of the year to get the one bye, the one seed, which helped a lot as far as not having everything at Arrowhead. So you never know how this will shape out whenever as we get closer. But yeah, what's the best thing you saw today?
Well, I'll give you a choice. Do you want me to talk about something that happened on the Magic Mike show, or do you want to do another wrestling segment?
Can you do both? You did good last time. You did multiple ones. So
all right, I'll do both. Let's see.
Did Sting talk?
Yeah, so that was what I was going to talk to. We'll do wrestling. I watched a full program of wrestling for the first time in probably 15 years, I would say, maybe 10. And yeah, Sting had a segment where he talked. It was really good. But overall, the AEW product was pretty good. I was pretty impressed. They really have some guys, some athletic guys that can wrestle, and gals. They had a kind of a creepy gal character named Abaddon that was kind of cool too. So wrestling in the AEW is pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised last night watching it. So to get away from wrestling, Magic Mike show made me crack up today big time. They were talking about Suge and Chad, who would win in a fight between those two. And it was classic. And, they were debating, well, Chad's he'd be wiry, kind of a dirty fire, but Suge's got like the old man strength. So it'd be an interesting matchup. And then they got to talking about if jockeys were to match up and fight each other. So I enjoyed that very much. I said David Cohen would win the jockey fight for obvious reasons. I would be scared of him, but I would probably pay like pay-per-view to see some jockeys fight.
Well, it seems like that's like the thing, now that you have these random exhibitions, are calling them, with like the Tyson fight, and now you're going to get a Floyd fight with what's his name, the dude that knocked out the
YouTube guy.
Steve Paul or whatever, Logan Paul. So that's the thing, right? So I think of what we could pay or what we could bring on. I would pay to watch two jockeys fight.
Well, what Magic just said, Calvin Burrell versus Kent DeSormo, Battle of the Crazy-Eyed Cajuns, I would watch that all day long. I would rather watch those two fight in a legit fight than 90% of the professional boxers out there. Like, I would watch that and enjoy every second of it.
I mean, and this thing in general, like the people that don't even follow racing, and it's like, hey, two little jockeys fighting. I mean, come on, that sounds amazing. So
weighing it a combined weight of 200 pounds.
Oh man, yeah, that would be, and it was weird. That Tyson thing was weird, but this day and age, people want to bring back old shit, and and people are willing to pay for it. I mean, Tyson, what we talk about? Tyson made like $10 million for that. For that fight. That was just a bunch of bullshit, really. I mean, it was the worst part of that pay-per-view. So
totally. It was awful. It was awful. But look, you bring back a 61-year-old wrestler, they're paying Sting millions of dollars to just show up on TV. It's that star power. Some guys never lose it. Tyson is one of them, obviously. And not saying Burrell versus DeSormo would be star power, but if we get him in enough, to enough of an audience, look out.
What do you say? Let's get to the show here. We'll get to the segment I had sectioned off for the fantasy league draft. So we'll do a couple of them in there, and then we'll jump into rapid fire. We'll sprinkle in every once in a while. How about that?
I like it.
Let's do it. Today's show. We've already got the 10 spot wrapped up. Number 10, Slim. Sorry. Today's show, we're going to announce the draft order for the 2021 Racing Dudes Triple Crown Fantasy League. The rapid fire selections for the major stakes races running Saturday at Gulfstream Park. Let's go.
Love it.
Poor Slim.
Slim was on here too, and then he's gone.
He's probably gone now.
Yeah, I think we made him mad.
That wasn't legit. That wasn't legit. All right. 3, 2, 1. The 8th annual Racing Dudes Triple Crown Fantasy League is upon us. That's right, the 8th annual. It's amazing. We are here. 10 teams in the league. We are up to like 16 people total now in the league because we have 2 people on a couple teams. And it's amazing that we're finally here talking 2-year-olds into the 3-year-old season. You're the dictator. You run this league. I'll let you kind of take it away. Explain to the people, maybe someone that's new, what this is, why they should care, and what we're about to do here.
Well, let me start with the why you should care, because we always get jackasses that say, well, we don't care about your fantasy league. Well, idiot, here's why you should care about it. You don't have to pick a team and root for it, but this is an ongoing league with people that know what they're talking about and follow these 2-year-olds now, 3-year-olds next year religiously, 24/7. And so you look at, okay, who got drafted? Like John White is in the league. Who did he take with his first pick? Is that a horse that I know? Maybe I don't know that horse. I'll look it up, and now he's on my list. It's very valuable to see and to follow all the horses as all the transactions are made. And then if there's a claim, we claim horses if they're not drafted, and then we see one we really like. Say there's 8 people that try to claim that horse. That'll give you a good indication of who's doing well on the trail and who's not. So that's why it's important to follow, and that's why we make it public like we do, because the bottom line is we're trying to give you an idea of here are all the contenders for all these major races that are coming up. It's not just the Kentucky Derby. It's all through the trail. So that's the main thing. Basically, we have 10 teams. We get a lot of requests from people to play. The problem is it's really hard to get more than 10 teams because each team gets 5 horses. So that's 50 horses in the league. There's only 20 that run in the Kentucky Derby. So already, it's kind of a lot of horses. So we limit it to 10 teams. Each team will draft 5 horses on draft night, which will be December 23rd. And then you get points throughout the Kentucky Derby season. I'm not going to read all the races and the points, but basically the first round of preps are worth 20 points for the winner, 10 points if you get second, 5 points for third, and 1 point for starting in the race. And then as we move along to the bigger races, which would be like your Arkansas Derbies, your Rebels, your Florida Derbies, San Diego Derbies, all that, 50 points to the winner, 25 for a second, 10 for third, and then 5 points for starting in the race. And then obviously you progress to the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont, which is 100 for the winner, 50 for second, 25 for third, and 10 for getting a horse to start in the race. So that's how you break it down.
And all this will be, not only on this show when we post claims and talk about the races and who's got horses running, but we also on the website every week, Halterman will do recaps as far as who's got what, and kind of the point standings and what horses are pointing to where and whatnot. And the thing I love most about this league is every year, and especially this year. So you're talking. Everyone likes to make their top 10 or whatever of 2-year-olds, or whatnot. We have the most comprehensive list of 2-year-olds in the country because you have 16 people that are essentially compiling their top 50 together. And that's what you come up with after the draft. And Halterman will post the draft results afterwards, with the draft order or the number, 1 through 50. And so you literally have a 1 through 50 ranking essentially of 16, bright minds in horse racing. And if nothing else, it gives you a list of names to keep your eye on, and that's what I love most about it. So, it gives me and everyone, I think, and it's fun to see as the year progresses, like, oh, remember that horse that was drafted like 5th round, number, 48th pick or whatever, that horse just won the Florida Derby. Like just stuff like that is really neat. And of course you can claim every week, which adds a lot of intrigue, and it never fails. There's always a couple horses every year that turn out to be really good that no one will draft because, hell, it's December.
Yeah. Well, for example, Authentic, who won the Kentucky Derby, I drafted him with the 21st overall pick last year. So that just kind of gives you an idea of, how it works. Tis the Law, who won the Belmont, was the 5th overall pick. And Swiss Skydiver, that won the Preakness, was a claim by Dan. So by the way, you can claim a horse on Monday of each week, right? You claim a horse. And if you're the only one that puts in for the horse, then you have them. If there's multiple people that put in for the same horse, we have a shake, just like, in racing.
Oh, hang on. What? It's time for another pick. I'm sorry. I can't, I don't control this. It just popped up. It's time. It's time for a pick. I'm sorry. You have to get right to it. Let's see.
All right. Let's see who it is. Let's see what number first. So the number, number 4.
Okay.
Pretty valuable pick. I've got a draft board over here. I'm putting it on. All right. That fell out. We'll put that back in there.
I'm already questioning this process, but go ahead.
Number 4 is everybody's least favorite team, Magic Mike.
Magic Mike.
Mike last year was in number 5, and now they are in number 4. Last year they drafted the Belmont and Travers and Florida Derby winner, Tis the Law, in that spot. So there we go.
They shit the bed and lost the league. They should have won it, and they lost the league. This couldn't hold on.
Who was that won the league last year?
I believe that was you, my friend. Right. All right, so there you go. Number 4, Magic Mike, and number 10 is Slim. So those are your two. Obviously, have the 1 through 3 spots still out there. So we'll be waiting for that. But yeah, congratulations, Magic. You guys got the 4th spot, so you probably already have started, but you can now definitely do your homework. You got some options there for sure. So all right, so you got so we do the draft, or you can do claims. It's the new system where it's only worth 20 points January through March, and then April through June is worth 40, right?
That's right. Yeah. So 20 points. It'll cost you 20 points for January through March. It'll cost you 40 points for an April through June claim. Exactly right.
And we do it each week. You get to put your claim ins on Mondays, and then Halterman will get the claims Tuesday mornings on live on here. He'll post them. He'll do it. He'll do the if it's a shake, he'll announce those and obviously do it live on air so you kind of get an idea. But yeah, I mean, more than anything, this thing started years and years ago. 8 years ago, I guess. That Halterman and I, it was just me and him, and obviously very few probably that are on the show or listening now were listening then, and we just did it for bullshit. So something to do, and of course with only you're only drafting 10 horses in total, so it's a little easier, but it just kind of added on. I think Slim started to follow, and he'd give his horses who he would have picked, and then Magic, and then we're just like, hey, let's just expand this, and so it just kind of it's really fun, and it's definitely I feel like we have a lot of fans that have started their own leagues due to this. And obviously have asked us advice on how to conduct different things. And the most important thing you can do is not listen to anyone else. I feel like that's right. The most important as a dictator, you have to just do what you want, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You do you. That's the thing. Unless you're Dan, then you need to listen to people. And that's why we gave him Michael Myers as a teammate this year. So yeah, the thing about it, the funny thing is when these claims start to happen, you just never know. You never know. Like I wanted Uncle Chuck bad and I lost the shake. And then it was just me and one other person shaking for Art Collector and I got it. And without Art Collector, I wouldn't have won the league. And I really didn't want him. He was just kind of a backup. But then he goes off, and wins the Bluegrass and wins the Ellis Park Derby. And that was just a huge jump. By the way, hopefully a race like the Ellis Park Derby, the Fantasy League is long gone and over with by the time that gets here. The Fantasy League ends with the Belmont in a normal year. So let's hope we have a normal year where it ends in the Belmont this year. So
let me ask you, how was it running the league last year? Was it different?
It was awful
last year.
It was awful. It was awful. I hated it.
You could do no right? Everything was you basically just trying to throw shit against the wall and hope it stuck.
Yeah, but thankfully for me, I don't. Nobody's opinion matters to me. Nobody's suggestions matter to me. I don't listen to anybody. People tell me things. I'll say, "Hey, thanks," and then I throw it in the trash. So I wasn't worried about trying to please people. I was just trying to worry about, can I get what do I do? How do we pivot? And listen, not to brag on myself, I feel like we did a pretty decent job. I mean, the league finished at least, so that was good.
Yeah, lo and behold, who won? The guy that was running it. So
exactly,
a bunch of bullshit. All right, let's do it. Get another one out.
Another pick. All right. Shaking them up. The number this time.
You need the actual leather little, in the balls and all that shit. You need to get a little more legit over there, dude.
I've got that. I'll take that opinion and I'll file it away. Thank you for it. All right, number 9.
Number 9. Oh, great.
Number 9. This isn't a great position. So somebody's gonna
not as bad as Slim, though.
Not as bad as Slim. Oh gosh. I hope it's not me. Oh, I like it. Paul.
Oh.
Paul is number 9.
All right, Paulie, number 9.
So he can go to bed at least now. I know he's tired. So
yeah. All right, I like this. We got those 1, 2, 3 spots still open. As the show goes, maybe we can get down to the very end and have the 1 spot and the 1 and the 8 left or something.
Just like the Kentucky Derby draw.
Year? Wasn't it last year? Yeah, exactly. Wasn't it last year? We had the 1 and 10, and I got the 10.
I think so. Yeah.
Hey.
I think it was last year or the year before. Yeah.
So I'm better than last year. I'm better than most years. I'm gonna be picking in the top 8, so that's exciting. So,
right.
All right. What do you say? You want to do one more and then get this rapid fire?
Yep. Let's do one more.
And then we'll sprinkle. We have 4 rapid fires to talk about, and we'll sprinkle one in between each one.
Yeah.
And then we'll maybe save one for 1 or 2 for the last. So let's do another one.
Okay. So this could be a good one.
Oh, all right. The 3 spot. I like it.
3.
Who we got?
This is big time. I would honestly, I want 1 or 2. So I hope it's not me, but I would take it if it is me. Oh, okay. So the last pick last year was Real Dynasty. They were in the 10 hole. Real Dynasty. The 3. Right. There you go. I think that's a good spot. So Real Dynasty, they did not. Last year was their first year in the league, and they didn't finish last, so that was good. But they didn't do well either. So this is a bounce back year for them.
Yeah, I like it. So yeah, what a name horse goes 3rd overall.
Yeah,
the best part about that is that horse actually, is starting to turn in a little bit better. So
yeah, it's a good won a lot of claiming races after they dropped it. Yeah, if you missed it last year, the Real Dynasty boys drafted an unnamed horse, and it was god awful. Silvermaker. Yeah, I think it was March where we had a name for that fucking horse. All
All right, so now we've got 1 and 2 open, 3 Real Dynasty, 4 Magic Mike, 5, 6, 7, 8 all open. 9 is Paul, and 10 Saratoga Slim. So obviously the 2 big spots there, because we right now it's between the Cox and the Baffert horses. Those are the 2 big ones. All right, you like I did that. And then, of course, the kind of the chunk there with 5 through 8. So I like it. You kind of have both sides there. The 2 top horses that we know are probably going to go 1-2. That's still wide open. We don't know which team is going to be in those spots. And obviously, the tough part, like we talked about a little bit ago, that chunk between 5 and 8, that's difficult. As far as who you want to pick in that spot. So those are open too. Stay tuned as we do rapid fire. We will flash through these, and every once in a while you might hear the alarm. Well, you won't hear alarm, but you might hear it in the post after the fact, and you'll hear alarm, and it'll be time to do another draft pick. But all right, the 8th annual Racing Dudes Fantasy League continues on. I like it.
Yep. Yeah, we got
congratulations, Real Dynasty. That's a good spot to be. So it's not. I think the 3 spot's actually all right, because you kind of are like, all right, I don't have to worry about those 2 horses. Like I know I'm not getting them. So who's the best now?
Yep.
Because that's difficult. Both those horses could be busts. You just don't know. Or will the Cox horse make it? And I'm gonna say that a lot of times. And the Baffert, when will the juice wear off? So you just never know.
Yeah. It's. Listen, I picked Independence Hall #1 overall, and I picked Authentic in the 3rd round. So you just never know what's gonna happen. There were some real doozies in the 1st round last year. So.
And honestly, I remember too. I was going to pick Authentic. I think you were right before me, and you beat me to him. But I was pissed. But at the same time, it wasn't like I was like, whatever. Who knows? I mean, and that horse obviously, did some things. So, all right. So we got we got 4 graded stakes races to talk about at Gulfstream Park this Saturday. Magic Mike, go check them out. They talked about the late pick 4 at Gulfstream Park on Saturday, I believe. So go check them out if you want kind of more analysis on this. Obviously, we'll cover 9 and 10 in this in Bleakers Off. But all right, let's kick this thing off. Let's see here. All right. 3, 2, 1. Time for rapid fire, presented by Racing Dudes Premium. All right, if you're not a premium subscriber, what are you waiting for? Go to racingdudes.com right now. Go to the Racing Dudes products page and check out our premium selections. You can get Soma Bombs there. You can get Ricky's Rockets there. You can get our premium picks. We have a Malibu guide coming out soon. Of course, if you are a subscriber to any of our premium picks, you get the wagering guides absolutely for free. And we have some big time changes. We're almost about ready to release these out to the public, where the products page will be different, will be better. All over the site will be better. So check that out at racingdudes.com. Racing Dudes Premium. If you want our free picks, they're always going to be free on the website at racingdudes.com. But if you want more, Racing Dudes Premium is where you will find them. All right, we're going to go to Gulfstream Park for the 4 graded stakes races on Saturday. We'll kick things off. Race 4, the Rampart Stakes, the grade 3. With 100K, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, going 1 mile. Field of 6 shows up for this one. Headline, Latruska, 2-1 morning line favorite, 5-2 on Bajan Girl, 3-1 on Sally's Curlin, 5-1 Dream Marie. What do you think of this race?
Yeah, I thought this was kind of the weakest one we'll talk about on the show, right? It's not fantastic, but I do think it's a good competitive race. That being said, I did go with the favorite, number 9, Latruska. It just kind of seems like when she's up against this kind of competition, she wins. You look at the past performances, obviously last time out, too tough, just got waxed. But, the race before, the Chuvie, a grade 3 at Saratoga, she won the race. The Ballerina, 3 races back, got smoked. Ungraded race at Gulfstream before that, won. So yeah, I think she's back in the right class level. I think it's competitive. I think it's a race you're probably going to need to use 2 or 3 in. or maybe even 4 if you have the budget, because I could see a few different ones winning. But on top, I went with Latruska. I just think in this kind of company, she's usually tough to beat.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you just, like Gulfstream Park, she's obviously very good, 2 for 2. This distance, she's 2 for 3. I just getting the class relief here is going to be a big difference. And I just think she's just, frankly, the best as far as talent goes, the most talented horse in the race. I thought about playing against, just because I do feel like there is going to be some pressure there with that 2 horse. But I ultimately, just by looking at look at the speed figures, it just seems like Latruska is just a little bit better than her, and I think just a little bit faster. So I'm with you. It's some of these races were hard for me to kind of get creative when it comes to value, because I just feel like in this one here, even if you wanted to go against Latruska, I mean, what are you going to go with? The 2? Not a lot of value to be had. And Sally's Curlin, one that, likes this track and being a Romance horse. Sometimes if that horse was a little bit bigger price, I may take a shot with her, because I feel like she's possible to upset. But ultimately, the best horse in the race is number 5, Latruska. That's my pick.
Yeah, right. Sally's go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say Sally's Curlin, it seems to be the Gulfstream horse, right? That's kind of the way I looked at her.
All right.
She could win. You don't need to add that.
No, I know. I think I'm with you. And that's almost why I ultimately picked her, because I thought that's just that's just her deal. Like she's the Gulfstream horse,
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna introduce this race, and then we're gonna do a pick. All right.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Next up, race 6, the Swirl Stakes, grade 3 with 100K. Fillies, mares, 3-year-olds and up, going 6 furlongs, field of 6 lines up for this one. This is probably one of the more interesting races here, with pretty much all of them a shot to win this thing. Sound Machine 5-1, Ladies Island 7-2, 5-2, and Golden Amy. Bronx Beauty 8-1, 3-1, and Cinnabunny and Aunt Nadine at 4-1. But wait, it's time. We got to do another one. Another draft pick. It's time. Get the people what they want. Let's see what the next pick is here for the Fantasy League.
Here we go. What number will I draw? It's not a great one. 8. So the 8th pick. Who is this going to be? This could be bad.
Jared, I'm going to go ahead and start writing my name.
Oh, I hope it's not. Oh. It's Jared.
Of course it is. Why would it not be? Okay, 8th pick, Jared. So 1 and 2 still open. 5 through 7 still open. Jared, Paul, and Slim around that. Hey, but I get another draft pick in 2. After that, I get 4 picks later. I get a draft pick. So
yeah, it's not ideal, but
hey. We're just looking for that authentic this year, okay?
Yeah. No, I mean you'll have a shot. It could be worse. You could be 9 or 10.
Right. Could be Paul, could be Slim. And frankly, let's be honest. Unless I was getting the 1 and 2, I'm probably picking an unraced Spafford horse. So that's pretty much what I'm probably leaning at this point. So,
that's right.
All right. Thanks for that great news. All right. I have the 8th pick. All right, let's get back to the Swirl Stakes. What do you think?
Yeah, so this race I think gets a little bit better. This is always kind of a fun race. I don't know why. This is almost, to me, this is the unofficial opening of Gulfstream. Like they did the Claiming Crown last week, and it's cool. I like it, but Swirl, it's like, okay, now we kind of feel like we're at real Gulfstream. So, yeah, this race, I feel like you could go a lot of different ways. I debated it for a while, but I just thought, let's do a Cinnabunny on top. Brad Cox has shipped in a few on this day. We'll talk about one a little bit later. And if we can get 3-1 on Cinnabunny, I think it's a pretty good price. And you look at how this horse has been running lately, 2 straight wins. First time for Brad Cox as well. This horse had been at Parks and looks like a private purchase to me for Madigan Stables, Michael Dubb, amongst others. So I kind of think this horse is getting ready to run a pretty big race. I pray we get 3-1. I'm afraid we won't, but I will take Cinnabunny on top. This looks like a pretty fast horse to me, and a horse that Cox could have a lot of fun with.
Yeah, let's be honest. I mean, this horse was doing well at Parks and running some pretty fast numbers, and then Brad Cox gets his hands on her and gets Irad Ortiz to ride, and obviously the big, the purchase, obviously buying, with Mad Cat and Dove and those guys. I mean, this horse should pop, right? To me, she's going to be awful tough. She's been working out well. She's got 2 straight bullets. Just really, really been going well. So, I mean, to me, the distance is right up her alley. I like Golden Amy too. I think that horse is pretty fast. Last race was really impressive at Woodbine. She did win here in March earlier in the year at Gulfstream Park and won well. So, to me, those are some really fast horses, and I like both of those. So, I'm going to play number 5, Cinnabuddy, on top. Oh. Guys Paddle, you did not miss the draw. We are doing it periodically here. So you have not, your team has not got a pick yet. Here's the order right there on the screen. 1 and 2 still open. Number 3, Real Dynasty. Magic Mike is 4, 5, 6, and 7 all open. I got the 8th pick. 9 is Paul, and 10 is Slim. So you're safe in terms of the bottom 3's picks, which is good. So you really, the 1 and 2, that's what people are tuning in for.
That's right. Yeah. 5, 6, 7 are not great spots. 1 and 2, obviously, very good spots. So it's going to be a lot of drama. It's going to be a lot of drama here in the last.
You get the one, depending on who drafts what, you get the 1 and 2. You either got a horse that's pretty much already in the Kentucky Derby, and you got one that is trained by a trainer that has won 2 Triple Crowns in recent years and has a horse that looks kind of legit. So, yeah. Kind of hard to go wrong with either one of those picks as far as you never know, but in terms of like, you can draft that and be like, okay, that's what's nice about those picks is, there's no pressure.
Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's, last year we didn't really have a solid number 1, where this year I feel like we have a solid number 1, a solid number 2, and then it's ridiculous after that. Right. So yeah. Not that it matters because I don't, but I'd almost want the 2 because it just gives like the pressure's off me. So it's like whoever they don't take, I'll take. Yep. I don't have to make that decision between Central Quality or the Baffert horse. Life is good. So it kind of takes the pressure off. Absolutely.
All right, let's move on, and we'll do another pick. Independence Hall was money. Hey, he won the league, so you can't say too much about it. All right, tax time. I still think tax won. This will be all over the podcast. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, race 9, the Harlan's Holiday Stakes, grade 3 with 100K for 3-year-olds and up, going 1 1/16 miles. A field of 7 lines up for this one. Headlined by your 2-1 morning line favorite, number 1, Tax. I still think Tax won. He's in the race, 5-2. Fat Man. Identifier 15-1, 8-1 on Eye of the Jedi. Roll Earn at 12-1, 92 on Math Wizard, and 4-1 on. You're gonna have Tatweech. Tatweech. This is a very interesting horse. A $2.5 million purchase for Todd Pletcher, who has he's won 3 races in a row as a 4-year-old. But obviously not exceeded that $2.5 million purchase price. But before we get your opinion of this race and the picks of this race, we are due, my friend, for another pick. So let's get another draw here. What do we got, and who's it going to be?
All right, here we go. The number 1 pick.
Oh man, just going. It's not rigged. I mean, I feel like we should have waited, but okay.
All right, here we're gonna find out who gets the number 1 pick in the draft. Right.
If this is Aaron, I'm ending the broadcast right now, just so everyone knows.
All right, I'm trying to find myself. I marked myself.
Yeah,
it's not me.
Different piece of paper.
Oh my god.
Ryan and John.
Every year, Ryan and John have the number 1 pick.
Is this real?
They draft first or second every year. Magic said, don't even draw. Just give them number 1 and do 2 through 10 for all the rest of us.
Wow. Okay. That seems like it. Yeah. I quit. Yeah. Magic is out. I'm with you. I'm out. Yeah, I'm done. He's out. It's gone. Okay, whatever. Wow. Okay. Well, it's John probably feels like we're doing something. Like he's almost like, I don't know why they keep giving me the first pick every year, but whatever. So they're going life is good. I mean, if he does go life is good, then that horse is a beast. So
well, I tell you what, and we talked about this at the start of the show or start of the segment. Like, why should you care about the fantasy league? I'm going to tell you why exactly. Him getting the number one pick is actually really fascinating because he loves Essential Quality. John picked Essential Quality to win. If the Breeders' Cup, if you listen to our pre-Breeders' Cup show with John, he gushed over Essential Quality, but he also knows everything about all the Baffert horses. So who he picks is really going to be telling to me. I am fascinated to see who they take. But yeah,
he also wins every claim too, Vinny. You're right. He wins.
I know.
Every claim. They won the league the first year. They were in it. It's bullshit. It really is. All right, let's get back to the picks. Although at this point, I don't think anybody cares. The Harlan's Holiday Stakes. What do you think?
Well, first of all, you know how I know that you're really excited about tax?
Why?
Because you skipped race 8. We went right past race 8.
We're not doing race 8. It's not happening. So.
Oh, okay.
we're only doing graded stakes, so don't worry about it.
I wasn't aware. So so you didn't skip race 8. So you did on purpose. All right.
Wow, we were going downhill. No, I didn't do it. I just did the 4 graded stakes races. So
we're going downhill because we're thrown off by John winning this. Anyway, okay. Let me ask you a question before I start. Did you hate this race and wanted it to burn in hell while you were handicapping it?
The fact that I almost pulled the trigger on Fat Man should tell you. And then it's like, even if I do pull the trigger on Fat Man, he's 5-2. So yeah, I hate this race. There's nothing 9-2 on Math Wizard. I mean, even if you want to get creative in this race, you're not getting any prices, and I just don't like it. So I mean, I guess Identifier, a horse that. It's has won at Gulfstream Park and likes, he's not bad. I don't know, but it gets Jose. That was interesting, but I hate this race. It's the one thing about this race is interesting. We can at least say this is it's obviously a prep for a lot of these for the Pegasus. So Tax, Fat Man. I mean, the $2.5 million purchase for Todd Pletcher, Tatweege, that horse. I mean, these are horses that are shooting for the Pegasus if they run well. So you got to think that at least 1 or 2 out of this race will run in the Pegasus. So for that reason, I guess it's important. But yeah, I hated it.
Tax I couldn't stomach. Not as the favorite. He is the kind of the class of the race, but he's disgusting. Identifier, it's like he sucks. I know Bodie Express, he lost to him last time out, but it wasn't even he wasn't in the same race as Bodie Express. He wasn't even in the same zip code. So I couldn't really go with him. I'm sitting here debating between Fat Man, who, I mean, he's okay, or Tatweege, who's facing Stake Company for the first time. I put Fat Man on top. The biggest key for me was Irad Ortiz is riding the horse. He hardly ever rides for this trainer, and he's riding Fat Man. And more than anything, Ortiz has been on Tax a lot. So you would think if he was confident in Tax, he would be on him. So I kind of think it's telling that he's on Fat Man. So yeah, I'm going to give him the shot, but I'm not excited. I'm not going to play any of these horses to win.
Yeah, I mean, he rode this horse to the Hooper win earlier this year. Irad did. So, and he's obviously he rode Tax to win the Jim Dandies. So, he's obviously kind of, you would think, would had his pick. Both very similar horses. Fat Man has a little bit of the edge in terms of the Gulfstream Park angle, but Tax does have the definitely the edge when it comes to the class. And listen, this race, like you say, I mean, we're going to give you picks, but it's like you got to try to buy this race as well as you can.
Yeah.
I ended up going on Tax, and I don't know if I've ever picked Tax to win a race, and so that's the first, right? But I just saw John and Ryan get the one pick, and I got, like every year, got the bottom 3 picks, and so what's new? So I might as well change things up and go with the new horse, and that's Tax. Listen, Gargan is awesome off the bench, right? 41%. I mean, which is really incredible. And it's not like 2 horses, 17 starters at 41% is pretty unreal. This horse is trained well going up to this race. Obviously, in this past, has ran some nice races off the bench. We haven't seen him since May, and he was not great in the Oaklawn handicap. He's one of those that can throw in a really nice performance mixed in with not, So he's, like I say, I think he should win because he's got the class. He's obviously got the ability. We've seen it in the past, but will he, gets Leah Sias to ride, which has never ridden him before. So I think, honestly, I don't feel good about any of these horses moving forward into the Pegasus. The 7 I wanted to pick just because it's a big purchase. It's a Tappet. Obviously there's a lot to like there. Tismasu is the Dan, which I thought was cool, but listen, this horse needs to run a race that he's not ran before to win here, and so that to me was the only thing I couldn't pull the trigger with. So Slim's dad, Slim, you guys are gonna be happy. I still think Tax won. Let's hope he wins on Saturday. I'm with Tax.
I think that Pletcher horse is a must use.
Yeah, because you don't want to get beat by him. No. I mean, you'd feel like a dumbass if you did. But yeah, he's one of those too. But you're like, do I really want to? Do you feel confident picking him on top? No.
Well, I think you said it best. It's like he's going to have to run a race that he just hasn't done.
Yeah, and he's won 3 in a row, but still, he's still not the level of these horses that are in this race.
Yeah, it's a tough race, really tough.
All right, are you going to get the 2 pick? We'll see. I hope the 2. I hope we get closer to. I just saw the text chain here. I'm retiring for real this time, Slim said. Yeah. Slim's not happy.
No, he's not.
But hey, like you say, I mean, it's nice to have these picks, but Halterman, not giving you shit, but you picked Independence Hall and obviously did nothing for you, and Authentic was 3rd round, right? And so you just never know. You just This league is not won or lost in the draft order. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's wrap this up, and then we'll get another pick. What we got here? We have 1, 2,
4 left.
3, 4 left.
Yeah,
5, 6, and 7, and the 2 spots. So we'll do 1 more here, and we'll do 3 in the closing. How about that?
All right.
All right, 3, 2, 1. And finally, race 10, the Fort Lauderdale Stakes Grade 2, with $200K for 3-year-olds and up, going 1 1/8 miles on the turf. A field of 10 shows up for this one. Yeah, you might be saying that the earlier of this card, the races we've been talking about aren't great. This one's pretty damn good. Some Luck at Hot Brown at 4-1. You got 5-1 on Delaware for Chad Brown, 5-2 on Factor This, who just, a lot of these horses ran in the, are if you factor this, ran in the Breeders' Cup. Holiday, we're at 7-2. Channel Cat, 15-1. A horse that likes it. He's one that you almost have to include when you don't want to include because he will beat you. But yeah, ultimately, this is a nice little field. And again, another one of those fields we talked about the Pegasus. This is a race that's probably shaping up for the Pegasus turf.
I actually think we might get a contender, unlike the race before that we talked about. I actually think the winner here, or maybe even the second place finisher, might have something to say in the Pegasus turf. I would factor this on top. I just think stretching back out to 1 1/8 is exactly what he needs. Yeah, at a mile, I shouldn't have been as high on him as I was at the Breeders' Cup. He just didn't run very well, but I think this is the better spot for him. So I went with him on top. I'm chucking Holiday. I don't like Holiday at all in the spot. And my crazy long shot is the same as Samich's. I listened to Magic Mike earlier today, and I was happy to hear him mention Spooky Channel. I think that horse could jump up and win at a price. He's done it before at Gulfstream. He won on Pegasus Day in the WL McKnight last year at 36-1. I think he could kind of sit a good trip right behind all the speed and kind of get first run at the leaders. And if you see a total meltdown, which is possible, Spooky Channel could get up and maybe upset him. But on top for me, I'm going to go factor this. I just think he's simply the best horse in the field.
All right. Well, I have that. We might have a play here because that's interesting. Because before we get to my pick, though, we need to do another draft pick. So let's get another draft pick before we get to my pick. You got yours. Let's get another draft pick here, and then we're gonna do 3 at the end at the closing. But we have 4 spots remaining, including the number 2 spot overall.
Yep, shaking up.
5 through 7, all open as well. Of course, your name has not been drawn.
No.
Let's hear it. What do you got?
All right, we've got the number 2. Number two. So there's not going to be any drama.
No drama for y'all. We're going to lose all the followers here. Number 2, obviously, you're either getting the Central Quality or you're getting Life is Good, but you're getting one of those two. So obviously, a very important pick here.
Dan and Michael Myers get the 2 spot. So that's good. So Michael Myers is a new player in the league. We've paired him up with Dan, and they just got a really good break right there. So Dan and Michael Myers get the 2 spot. So you would assume now if it was just Dan, we might not know. Who's
I was going to say, if it was just Dan, you'd still think you might have an option to get him if you're the 3rd spot there, Real Dynasty. Dan might throw another unnamed horse. But Michael, I'm thinking, Michael, you can rein him in, and yeah, New Dior 2nd overall. But no, that's congrats to Dan and Mike. That's good. I mean, like you say, it seems like the newcomers always get good picks in this league.
Real Dynasty was last year. So.
Seems like it. Okay, there have been times. Overall, Michael Myers
is still in here. Yeah, it is still in there. Okay.
Hey, don't all right. So we got 5 through 7 still. Who's left? We got you. Who's left?
We got me. We've got we've got the defending champion, me. We've got the last place finishers of Austin and Evil Stevel, and then we've got the Killer Bees, Brandon Bauer and Brian Brush. Brian Brush is new to the league, and he is teamed up with Brandon. So we still got those 3 left.
All right. So we got those 3. We'll do those at the end after we close this up. Right. So back to the Fort Lauderdale. Listen, I did not, believe it or not, did not listen to the Magic Mike show. But Spooky Channel was one that I really looked at for a long time because I liked I feel like this race has got speed written all over it. It's going to be very quick. Some like it hop around, obviously, likes to go. And of course, the 7 horse who's a little bit unknown, but that horse will go. Factor this, like your horse that you likes to go. Holiday likes to go. So I feel like the pace is going to be pretty spot on. Spooky Channel is one of those horses that can close and obviously can win this distance and can win at Gulfstream Park. So I like that horse. Overall, I did pick the number 2 horse for Chad Brown, Delaware, because another horse that can close. Again, this horse has kind of been disappointing since coming over here. Has not won in the United States, but listen, you get Irad Ortiz back to ride. Almost won last time out by increasing his buyer by 10 points for the previous start, and that was in just a listed stakes race at Aqueduct, and then he comes over and brings him here. So I feel like for a couple reasons that's pretty notable, and he's throwing blinkers off. So I think the equipment change and moving him up in class dramatically tells you that, okay, I mean, Chad Brown, we've talked about this a lot on the show. He's not just showing up with horses that he doesn't think can win, and right. So I think he's one that you got to play. I'm going to pick him. I like that price at 5-1, but I'm with you. And Samich, I think playing that Spooky Channel as a price makes a lot of sense. You play those 2, and then maybe, I do think Factor This has a lot of talent. So the fact that, playing him in case he, likes to get, brave and hold on, I think, you play him as well. But really, I agree. I do think this race has some potential to give us a horse to talk about as we move into the Pegasus. It's not like the last one that we just talked about. This one feels like there might be some legit contenders moving into that race in January. But for the top pick in this one, I'm on number 2, Delaware.
All right.
All right, let's get to the closing here so we can get some. Let's get this draft. I'm sure these teams, including you, of course, at this point you're kind of like whatever, like these picks. It's all the same. But, yeah, let's just get the official draft order here. All right,
let's do it.
3, 2, 1. So tell me, check us out at racingdudes.com for our free picks and our premium selection on our handicap products page. Click the products link that made me at racingdudes.com to learn more. We're not done. All right. I know you guys have been listening. We have 3 spots left. We'll wait to do the closing. We got to get to these 3 spots. We got to get the draft order. These 3 teams have been waiting patiently, including yourself, Aaron Halterman. So we got, 5 through 7 left?
Yes.
So 5 through 7 are left. We've got John and Ryan, Dan and Michael, Real Dynasty, Magic Mike. You just put up the 6 seed there. So what's going to be the 6th pick?
6. Who's ready? Who's it going to be? Austin and Evil Stevel. Austin
and Evil are the 6.
The 6. They were the last place finishers. Yeah, they had the 9th pick last year, so they're up to 6. So that could help. I was reviewing their draft last year. I can see why they finished last. It was a really, really bad draft. Ancient Warrior was their first round pick, who never got them a point. I can't. Aja Weed was one of their top round picks. He was awful. Answer In was one of their picks. He was awful. Finnick the Fierce, which I think may have got him a point or 2. I mean, it was bad. It was bad.
And then they compounded it by a lot of claims, and then claiming horses that, to not their fault, wouldn't run.
Yeah. King Guillermo.
And now look, I mean, that ship has sailed, it seems like, with King Guillermo. So
he was bad last
year. He was really bad. That was bad, which, by the way, we didn't really mention it, but that sucks. Bodie Express finally gets his shit together.
Yeah.
And now he's done. So he's fine, but he's done. So that sucks. But all right, we got 2 picks left here. We got the 5 spot. We got the 7 spot. 2 teams left. What you got?
All right. It's the 5.
The 5.
So
we got Halterman left and
Killer Bees.
The Killer Bees.
It's going to be me. I am the 5.
All right. So that puts the Killer Bees.
That means the Killer Bees. Killer Bees are at 7. So there you go.
And there you go. Like I said, all new teams get good picks because they just got the 7. All right, there you go. This is the official draft order. John and Ryan, Dan and Michael. Number 3, Real Dynasty. 4, Magic Mike. 5, Aaron. Number 6, Austin and Evil. 7, Killer Bees. 8, myself. Paul's number 9, and Slimmy, all the way at the beginning of the show, he drew the 10th spot. There you go. So that is the official order of the fan. What are your you got any early morning line odds for this draft order yet?
Yeah, so that'll be up after the draft. I'll do the first morning line odds, and I do morning line odds all the way out throughout the whole thing until it's all over. Every week we'll have a updated morning line odds on the fantasy, the fantasy updates. So, I'm sitting here now, and I've got the 5, and I have no idea who I would pick at 5, knowing that I got a pretty good idea who's going 1, 2.
Yeah,
I have no idea, even in a perfect world, who I'll pick at 5.
I don't. And I'll compound that with the 8. I don't.
Right.
Who the hell knows, right? And then not just to mention, that's just the first round. We got to do 4 rounds of this. So this is going to be. It just feels like one of those years that while we have some standouts, like we mentioned in the top spots there, after that it's just you're just you're just winging it, you're just throwing darts.
So if it goes exactly like how I have them ranked right now on the website, which you can find at racingdudes.com/Kentucky-Derby, the 5th horse is Hot Rod Charlie. That's who I have ranked 5th.
That's your boy.
That's an Oxbow call. I might take him. I mean,
who's 8?
8 is Red Flag, winner of the Bob Hope Stakes at Del Mar. Trained by John Sheriffs. Let's see. Well, I'll just go through them. The top 10. Life is Good. I have number 1. Essential Quality 2. Highly Motivated 3. That's the Chad Brown horse who won the Nyquist Stakes on the undercard at the Breeders' Cup. Keep Me in Mind. That's the Kentucky Jockey Club winner, who's also finished behind Essential Quality twice. Hot Rod Charlie is 5. Jackie's Warrior is 6. Which I think that's an interesting horse to see where he gets drafted. I think the majority of the people in our league don't think he's going to get the distance. I personally think he can win along the trail, like especially like the Smarty Jones at Oaklawn say. I think that he could win that pretty easy. Anyway, number 7 is Classier. He's going to run in the Los Alamitos Futurity, so we'll kind of have an idea of him before we draft. Number 8 is Red Flag. Number 9 is Freedom Fighter. This was a maiden special weight winner for Bob Baffert at Del Mar. And number 10 is Rombar, who finished 5th in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. So, I mean, these are not good horses, a lot of these.
Well, what makes it tough, like with a horse like Jackie's Warrior, is the name and his kind of credentials give him a top round pick, but he also brings a lot of risk because if he doesn't get the distance, then he's a waste. He gets you nothing. Even if he does, I mean, if you do you want to spend a number 1 draft pick, your first round draft pick on a horse that's only going to get you points in the Smarty or something, which is fine. I guess you technically you are in the plus column with him, but then you got to drop him, and that's worth 20 points dropping him. So yeah, drafting that horse like that. So like you say, it will be interesting to see how far he goes, how far he drops down as far as who wants to take that. But, I can tell you, because I've been here a lot of times, when you get to these late spots, you kind of have to pick the horse that is a name and has upside, because, other than that, you're kind of left with, basically grasping at nothing. So, but all right, that's the official order there, and stay tuned. What the draft is Wednesday before Christmas. We'll do the draft live on air, and you kind of get an idea of who the teams are and who's got who, and that's always a fun show every year. It's freaking chaos because now, I don't even know how we're gonna get 16 guys.
Well, here's the deal with our new setup. I think it's going to be easier than ever because we can put them in the lobby where they can be doing whatever and we can't hear them. And you and I are on full time. And then we only bring the other guys on when it's their pick. Yeah, I
like it. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Actually, that might be pretty good. Let Slim just over there just rattle off on his own, and then we'll just bring him on for his picks. So I like it. All right. Yeah. So stay tuned and obviously go to racenews.com to see more about the league and what we're doing. Make sure you go check out racenews.com as your destination site for all free horse racing picks and information. We're on Twitter at RaceNewsDudes, Instagram and Facebook. Listen to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, even the website at racingnews.com. Remember, go check out the Magic Mike Show. They did the late pick 4 at Gulfstream Park on Saturday. So you want more information about, we talked about Somich's picks in the Fort Lauderdale. If you want some more analysis of that, what him and Magic are doing, go check them out at the same locations as well. We got, before we get off air here, congratulations. Boy, just laid the wood. Hopefully Guys Paddle's still on here. Laid the wood on the Titans. My boy, your boy, just lit him up in that first half. He was unbelievable. And the Browns, man, they were making some noise.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Mayfield, probably his best game as a Brown. He played amazing. Yeah, the Browns, they look great. That was a humongous win, but they got another big one coming up on Monday night this week. They're at home against the Ravens. I'm telling you, they should beat the Ravens. They are not that good. This is a huge game for the Browns. They win this one, they're sitting at 10-3 with the two New York teams and then the Steelers at home the last game of the year. The Browns are staring 11 or 12 wins right in the face if they can beat the Ravens this week. It is a huge game. Monday night, all eyes are going to be on them. They're getting a lot of hype. This is a huge game for the Browns. And like Guys Paddle saying, the Steelers, they didn't look very good. Washington beat the Steelers. So we now live in a world where that Week 17 game could be for the division.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just about to say. Yeah.
But they got to win. This is a huge to me, in my opinion, they snuck up on the Titans. I think the Titans thought, that will show up and kick their ass. And the Browns, they showed they're a pretty good team. Now, the Ravens are going to be ready to play this game. And the Ravens need a win bad. So this is a huge test for the Browns this week.
Yeah, all of a sudden with that loss, not just like we talked about earlier with the Steelers potentially losing that first round bye to the Chiefs, all of a sudden that loss to Washington, considering they still have to play the Browns, it definitely adds some, and then that's in that Week 17 that they play the Browns.
Yep.
So that that adds some intrigue. So they need to win out, in order to not get to the situation where they lose one game and the Browns win out, get to that game, and all of a sudden that that game's for the division. So yeah, I love it. I would love to. Obviously, I would love nothing more. I want the Steelers to lose, like we've talked about, and it'd be great to see the Browns do it. So I was impressed. I was watching that game and off and on. And I just thought, my gosh, like every time I look, the Browns are scoring again.
Yeah.
And usually when you see that, it's like Chubb's going off, and it wasn't Chubb. Baker was just lighting them up.
He quietly is having a really good last 5 or 6 games. Like he hasn't thrown an interception in over a month, and that is kind of what we talked about 4 or 5 weeks ago, or I don't know, maybe it was Thanksgiving weekend. I was drunk that show. I don't really remember what I talked about, but one of the shows I was like, he has had to adjust to being just another guy that's out there managing the game versus go out there and win the game for us, Baker. He has slowly. It's like, okay, my job is not to turn the ball over. Just make the throws that are there. Don't force things into tight windows. He's done it and people go, well, he's not throwing for that many yards. That is by design. That's what they want. Right. And then they get into a game last week and everybody's up against the run. And it's like, the Browns don't throw the ball very much. There's single coverage all over the field. And he torched them because he's good enough to do that. So what are the Ravens are going to have to do? They're going to have to back off. They're going to think, this guy threw for 300 yards and like 4 or 5 touchdowns. Now the running game's open. It all works together. And that's by design because the Browns have a great scheme because they have a good coach, unlike the Cardinals, who have the worst coach in the NFL. Other than
oh man, we won't talk about the Cardinals. They're imploding, but no, the Browns. Yeah, and that's one thing. You look at the stat lines of Baker, and it's like, he throws for under 300 yards, really most games, but he's not throwing picks like you said. He's throwing multiple touchdowns, and he's doing. A long time ago, I compared him to Alex Smith, and he really is that kind of player because.
Yep.
And that's not a knock. I love Alex Smith, but it's just like once Alex figured out what he was, because when they drafted Alex at San Francisco, it was like, you need to go win the game, like you're saying, and you realize like that's not the quarterback he is, Maybe he was in college, but it wasn't how he was in the NFL. And just like Baker, same thing. That's how he was in college. It's not how it is in the NFL for him. But he's, like you say, he's got an amazing cast around him, excellent running game, and when you see him throw up numbers like that with no picks, they're going to be tough to beat, because that means they've scored a lot of points and that, they didn't even need Chubb, so like, and Chubb's there when you need him, and Hunt, not forget Hunt.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a team. I'll tell you this, that's a team that as a Chiefs fan, I wouldn't want to run into the playoffs just because
The Chiefs will beat them by 20 plus points.
I don't know if they'll beat them by 20 plus, but they will beat them. But they're a team that gives you problems because they have that running game. They can just hold the ball, and if Baker's not being an idiot, they do become a problem. And then just like Tennessee found out, because I think Tennessee's really freaking good. I really do. And hey, you know what? You guys held Henry. I mean, that was a big thing too. Of course, the game flow changed a little bit, considering you knocked him in the teeth early. But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think the Browns are a team that I'd want to play in the. I'd rather play Tennessee. I mean, I'd rather play the Browns in Tennessee. But still, I do think the Browns are definitely up and coming.
The problem with the Browns against the Chiefs, the Browns are terrible pass defense. The Browns have a really good front and a really poor secondary, and I think that would be a disaster. I think the Chiefs would score whenever they touch the ball. I do think the Browns could move the ball on the Chiefs, but I think a lot of teams could. I think that'd be a disaster. As a lifelong 3-year Browns fan, I don't want to see the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Well, I don't think anybody does. And the thing about the Chiefs is that as a fan, and I am a lifelong fan, is that we're now spoiled already with Mahomes. That any game, our good friend John had a bet on all Survivor leagues. We're going through the Chiefs last week. And he was texting us like crazy, and he's worried, and he's like, I can't believe. And I was like, John, I get it, but they're going to win. They're just going to win. And it's like, it is like, because we are spoiled, because you get Mahomes the ball, and guess what? You know that you're going to win the game. And and so I get that's a false sense of security, but that Raiders game that we lost, they get the ball one more time. Guess what? They're going to win, they're just, so it's just, they're one of those that the defense needs to improve. But yeah, I mean, just scoring wise, you don't want to match up against the Chiefs. You're not going to win that.
See, and I disagree, actually, Michael, with your comment. I don't think running the ball is the key. The key is to score and get pressure on Mahomes. Those are the two keys. It's not keeping the ball away. It's scoring when you get the ball. That is a huge key, because even when you get a lot of pressure on him, your stops are going to be limited. But that's how you stop him. You got to get pressure on him. That is the number one factor. And the Browns can do it, but the problem is the Browns have nobody to cover anybody on the Chiefs.
What's your thoughts on I've thought about this, but as a Chiefs fan, I think if you're playing the Chiefs and you have anything less than 4th and 4, you go for it
every time. Especially if you're on anywhere past like the 40 on, every time. I agree.
And when teams get sometimes 4th and 2, and you're like, please punt it, and they do, and you're like, okay, good. Because why wouldn't you? Because as soon as you kick it, you're giving it back to the best player in the NFL, and he's probably going to go score.
There was a situation, I can't remember exactly when it happened, but the Broncos did that last week. It was 4th and short, and they punted. It was either tied, or maybe the Broncos were behind by 1 score, and I thought, what are you doing? And it was fourth quarter.
You have nothing to lose. You
can't punt the ball. Well, it's not even that. Even if you have everything to lose, what do you want to do? Try to keep the ball and get a first down, or punt it to Mahomes? What's your best chance to win the game at that point?
Yeah, and think of it logically like this. Okay, so you punt the ball, and now let's say the difference is the net yardage difference was 40 yards. Okay, one play, and Mahomes has the 40 yards back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One play, he's got to pass to Tyreek or to Kelsey, and it's like, oh, well, the punt was pointless at that point. So you might as well try to go for it and keep it away. Michael says 45-42 Browns. Michael, if they play the Browns, you contact me.
Yeah.
I will accept any bet you want.
It'll be 42-24 Chiefs if they play the Browns. I mean, I think the Browns could give them a scare, but when it's the Browns and the Chiefs, it will ultimately come down to the fact that the Browns will never stop them, and they can't score every drive to match it. They're not that kind of team,
Right.
like the Packers are a team that could win 45-42. I don't think the Browns can beat the Chiefs 45-42.
All right, that's I would love to talk more about it, obviously, but obviously, congrats to John and Ryan for the 1 pick. That's great. I'm so happy for you. Not, I did just whatever. So we'll be seeing those guys, and I'm sure we'll be talking all about how they got the 1 pick again. But yeah, stay tuned for more fantasy information. Of course, good luck this weekend playing Gulfstream Park. Go check out the Magic Mike Show. I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. Good luck this weekend.